Hello, friends. Welcome into the Cowboys Report presented by The Guild. I am Tom Downey. Follow me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney for more Cowboys coverage. Let's dive into some rumors today. First up, is Jason Garrett's job on the line in 2018? Well, if you've watched previous editions of the Cowboys Report, you know what the answer is. 4 stars on this one. Yeah, Jason Garrett is most certainly coaching for his job in 2018. And we'll explain what these stars mean here in a little bit. But with the Cowboys and Garrett, look, he's made the playoffs twice as the Cowboys head coach. It is very much a make or break year for Garrett and the Cowboys. And if Jason Garrett fails to make the playoffs in 2018, at that point, I don't see a situation where Jason Garrett is back as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe if you are just riddled by injuries, everyone gets hurt, maybe that's a scenario, but I don't think you're going to see Jason Garrett back as Cowboys head coach if the Cowboys fail to make the playoffs. And even if they do, you could see a Tennessee Titans type scenario where, they made the postseason, they still fire their guy Mike Mularkey and go try an upgrade. So I want to know from you guys, what does Garrett need to do for you to want him back with the Cowboys next season? Now, I know a lot of you guys don't like Jason Garrett, and I get it. Is it as simple as making the playoffs? Or is it, hey, he's got to win a Super Bowl or bust, otherwise you don't want him back at all? Keep those comments flowing, and I'll respond to several in the comment section throughout the show as well. Let's get now to the rumor-o-meter. Here's what we mean when we say 1 star, 2 stars, or 4 stars, whatever. 0 stars, it's the number of fights OBJ won against the net. It's fake news. Don't buy it. And be careful, because today is April Fool's after all. 1 star, there's a small shred of truth there. There's some semblance of accuracy there, but don't really quite buy it yet. 2 stars means the people are talking firmly in that rumor category. 3 stars means it's pretty likely. It's not quite a done deal, but this is probably going to come true. And then 4 stars means that, Dez caught it. It's a fact. It is a totally verifiable rumor or news item. Let's get to number 2 then. Does Jerry Jones want Randy Gregory back? Well, 4 stars on this one as well, with Jones more or less confirming it. And it's not just because, Jerry Jones believes in second chances, although that is a big role, and he thinks that Randy's a good person. In the end, Jones summed it up well. Hey, he's one hell of a football player. Jerry wants to win, and if Gregory's back on track, he wants Randy Gregory to be a factor in that defense, on that pass rush there. He said he wants Gregory back on the team. We'll see if it actually ends up happening, because our next rumor, the Cowboys not confident that Gregory will actually be back. Well, 3 stars on this one. It's what Jerry Jones said. He said, I'm not confident, but I think this is also Jerry Jones lessening his own expectations. I think if you actually had to guess and actually ask the Cowboys, hey, you think he's going to be back? I think at some point they'd say, yeah, at some point he'll return. But as of right now, Jerry Jones does not have his hopes up. A couple different reasons. One, they continue to operate like Gregory won't be back, which is the smart and the proper way to go about doing this. You don't want to assume you're going to have an edge rusher, and then Gregory gets suspended again or doesn't get reinstated, and then all of a sudden, you're out a guy and you're out a key factor of that defense. And then Jones also accurately pointed out, look, it's a very complicated and drawn-out process. There's a lot of subjectiveness. And I think Jerry Jones knows not to get his hopes up after what happened with Ezekiel Elliott. He was, at least if you believe Jerry, he was told that Zeke was going to be back. So I think he's in a similar boat right now where he does think Gregory will be back, but he's not going to allow himself to get his hopes up, and he's going to take it one day at a time, just like Gregory is. Next up, is there some excessive negativity against Dak Prescott? And this one also seems pretty likely. 3 stars on this one. If you haven't seen it, Colin Cowherd had a very good explanation as to why he thinks people are too critical of Dak Prescott. He points in particular, hey, he's a 4th-round pick. That results in automatic doubts, and I actually thought that was a very fair point from Cowherd. I think that's one that I've fallen into in the past as well. And Cowherd, of course, a former critic of Dak Prescott, is now very much in favor of Dak, pointed to the numbers with guys like Carson Wentz, Joe Flacco, Matt Stafford, Cam Newton. Dak has outplayed them all. So while there is reason to be critical of Dak, and that's why it's not 4 stars, because there are some things Dak needs to improve on, and he shouldn't just have blind faith in a young quarterback, I do think I agree with Colin that at times the criticism becomes too much with Dak. That's also the nature of being the Cowboys quarterback. We saw the exact same thing with Tony Romo, and now we're seeing it with Dak. There is too much negativity, but there is at least some reason to have some negativity and some doubt in Dak Prescott, even though I do think he is the Cowboys franchise quarterback. Going to talk some more rumors coming up here in just a second, but first, a word from our sponsor, The Guild. Welcome back, folks. Thank you to the Guild for that little sponsorship there. Let's get to number 5 here on our rumor roundup. Is there no timeline for a Dez decision in the Cowboys? Oh, well, also 3 stars on this one. Stephen Jones saying, hey, there's no timeline yet, and it's been a weird ordeal between Dez and the Cowboys. Stephen Jones says there's no timeline. Jerry says, hey, I'm going to meet with Dez before the end of next week. I kind of get the feeling that maybe the Cowboys are pushing this off until after the draft. Maybe they think, hey, if we get someone like Calvin Ridley, or if they love a guy like DJ Moore or Courtland Sutton, if we get that receiver in round 1, maybe we'll try to trade and or cut Dez Bryant. And in that scenario, hey, that's why you haven't made a decision with Dez. You haven't told him he's going to be back yet because the draft could alter things. Maybe there's a receiver the Cowboys get in some kind of crazy trade or something along those lines. That's kind of why I'm thinking there's no timeline for a Dez decision yet. But at a certain point, make up your mind, guys. Like, either Dez is going to be your number 1 receiver or let him go, because you could have used the cap space. Now they chose not to. That they did try to sign a guy like Sammy Watkins. I think maybe Dez is plan B or C for the Cowboys as their wide receiver number 1. They tried to go get Sammy Watkins. They missed. Maybe if they can get Calvin Ridley, maybe then you see Dez Bryant go. But until then, I still think Dez is on the Cowboys, but I think the draft is the only scenario in which I see the Cowboys saying, hey, we got another receiver, now we can move on from Dez. It just kind of feels like the Cowboys are pushing off that decision as long as they possibly can. Next up, hey, what about an Odell Beckham trade with the Cowboys and the New York Giants? Maybe? Yeah, maybe it could happen. No, fake news on this one. Looking at you, the ringer. You guys put together a whole bunch of possible trade options, and one of them was, how about the Giants and the Cowboys make a deal for Odell Beckham? The deal was for Dez Bryant and a first-round pick, with the Cowboys trading down in the 4th round and getting the Giants' 5th-round pick back. Why would the Giants do this? Like, we have made many criticism on Dez Bryant here on the show and in the comment section as well. Why would the Giants trade away only get a first-round pick and Dez and move up like 30 spots from the 5th to the 4th round? And not only that, the Giants aren't going to trade Odell Beckham to a rival and then play him twice a year. So that didn't make any sense. That screamed, hey, let's just put the Cowboys in the headline there and see if we can get some more clicks there. But I do want to hear from you guys. Let's say that the Giants actually made OBJ available to the Cowboys in a trade, or if he hits the free agent market. At that point, do you want Odell Beckham? I'll mention this. We would have to change the graphic a 3rd time in our rumor roundup, because we can't have fights that OBJ won against the net as our 0 stars if you're on the Cowboys. He's an incredibly talented player, but I don't know if you want to deal with the head case and the drama there, and I don't think you want to pay him $20 million. So factoring in the money, I think you might have to pass if you're the Cowboys. Number 7 now. How about Johnny Manziel signing with the Cowboys? This one was our April Fool's joke. We put it on the Facebook page earlier today, and if you guys got upset about it, oh my God, take a chill pill. It is April Fool's. We're here to have fun, right? Let's have some fun. Let's make some jokes. All the quotes in there were actual real quotes from Jerry Jones or Johnny Manziel. This was a joke. Let's all enjoy it. Let's not get bent out of shape about it. We're here to have fun, all right? This is sports. This is football. Let's not take it that seriously. This was our April Fool's joke. If you didn't like it, I am sorry, but it was fun for me to write, fun for you guys to read, I think. Let's all have a nice little laugh about it and chuckle. And if we got you, well, that's just your own fault there. Keep it rolling now. Number 8, back to the actual news and rumors items here. Could the Cowboys go wide receiver in the 1st round? Well, 2 stars in this one because people are most certainly talking. NFL.com has said, hey, maybe there's some truth to this. The Cowboys continue to look at wide receivers in the draft, and I think that makes sense. Jason Garrett and others were at the Alabama Pro Day closely watching guys like Calvin Ridley there, and they don't seem all that satisfied with the wide receiver core. My issue with the Cowboys going wide receiver in round 1, you got bigger needs. Like, you got to find a safety, another linebacker, some more offensive line help, some more defensive line help. So I am okay with Dallas drafting a wide receiver, but I don't want it to be in the 1st round. I don't think that's where the Cowboys should go. Unless someone really falls, and I'm talking maybe Calvin really to like round 2 even. Like, I don't want to spend a 1st-round pick on a wide receiver. You got other needs to go up and upgrade. Go do that. You can get a wide receiver later. Maybe it's a guy like Michael Gallup in round 2 or DJ Moore if he falls to round 2, somewhere in that range. Just don't spend a 1st-round pick on a wide receiver because you have other needs you have to fill, and you can get just as talented a player as well. To number 9 then. How about Harold Landry and the Cowboys? Well, 2 stars on this one as well. I think it's a semi-strong segment of the Cowboys fan base that wants to go get Harold Landry, or at least the Cowboys media out there. And the Boston College defensive end could be a first-round option. The issue for me is that, yeah, the Cowboys have shown interest in Landry, but he's smaller than their preferred defensive end. Remember last year, Cowboys had Taco Charlton and they had TJ Watt. And in the end, they took Taco because he was a better fit for their size requirements. I like Landry a lot. I don't know if he's even going to be there in the first round, but if he is, I think you can see the Cowboys consider it. But in the end, like I mentioned with wide receiver, I think the Cowboys want to get a defensive tackle, a linebacker, a safety, or an offensive guard before they go get another edge rusher. But do not be surprised if you see the Cowboys spend maybe a day 3 pick on a pass rusher to help fill out some of that depth.